Brrrah! What's up my people, my name is Spicy and today you will experience 6 IDontWorkHereLady stories. Comment a fire if you're having fun and like this video and let me know if you subscribe in a comment so I can show you some love. Congratulations Rosemary for the comment of the day. You know I love you. Brrrah! I don't work at this hotel. A year ago, my daughter graduated university. We were staying at a hotel that night before. I was all dressed up as we just had a nice dinner. I was the only one in a dress. I was talking to others when I heard a high-pitched huff behind me. I did not pay attention to it. I was in the middle of a sentence when my arm is grabbed and I'm spun around. Now, there's a very angry Chinese woman pointing at me and touching my chest. She's speaking a mix of English and Chinese. What I can understand is this, and forgive me because I added in the word she left out and I am just essentially translating to English what she said in Chinese. Like every third word was Chinese. You listen to me right now, you stupid! I have been waiting for you to stop talking to them for 15 minutes. I will have your job. Do you know who I am? She shuts up for a second, so I say what I've been trying to. Ma'am, I don't work here. I don't care who you are. Go ring the bell and they will come to see you. She kept screaming in Chinese purely then. I can't translate what I don't know. I asked my husband if he wanted to go back to the room and he agrees. We are halfway to the elevator when I hear another scream and my head is now hurting and bleeding. This crazy woman threw her heels at me. I go down and my mother-in-law grabs me. My father-in-law and husband both run at the woman. The father-in-law puts her on the ground and husband restrain her. This woman is maybe 5'5" and 130 pounds. He is 290 and 6'8" or so. She was not going anywhere. Hotel security restrained her this time after a few minutes. They called police and she is arrested. I had to go to the hospital for a concussion after to make sure I don't pass out as there's a lot of blood. I don't know what happened to her. She was arrested but that's it. Graduation was fine. I had a gauze on the back of my head during it. My hair covered most of it though. When she said her head was now hurting and bleeding, I thought it was a metaphor or an exaggeration because she was giving you a headache. I don't go here. I'm not a student. I will start by explaining that I am a very good speech giver. I received numerous medals in my old high school days in various speech competitions. This made an academic decathlon coach, a really nerdy but fun competition that has speech in it, begged me to come back to my old high school and coach kids with their speeches as public speaking is something an overwhelming amount of people struggle with. So, the club was after school. But I wanted to get there early because I knew I would only have an hour for 3 days, and that honestly is not long for teaching someone how to give speeches. This led to me standing outside the door of a classroom with 10 minutes left before everyone got out. It was very stuffy that day, and the class was right next to the door leading outside, so I briefly exited for some fresh air. As I exited though, a school security lady, SL, immediately stopped me. "Where are you going?" in a very accusatory voice. "Just getting air cause it's very stuffy inside." "Well, you know where you're supposed to be right now." Still very accusatory. "Who is your teacher? Maybe they want fresh hair too." At this point, I realize what's happening. I have a severe case of baby face and I am very short, so it is often that people mistake me for someone of around 14. "Oh, I understand. This," pointing at my face, "is a baby face. I graduated a while ago. I am merely here to help coaches name with the AC Deck Club in their speeches." The look on her face was the same look a woman gives you when you sincerely give her a gift she hates. I could see how she was considering it, but didn't want to believe it. It just so happens I have my student ID, because I'm lazy and never took it out. From when I was a student in my senior year. I'll show you and you can see that year printed. If she had stared at that ID any harder, she would have burned holes through it. But eventually, she realized I was older than I looked and left me be. I know it's not exactly work, but it felt very similar and I found it funny, so I thought I'd share it. I wanted some candy. It was actually 9 years before I got my first job. I was a healthy, maybe a little overweight, but a nice young man. I was a fresh 18-year-old teenager, a few weeks out from graduation. It happened across the older big box store that's at least 45 minutes of a drive away. I did not realize wearing blue back then meant I worked there. I had a nice long blue sleeve shirt, some nice blue sweatpants, and a blue cap. At 18, I never went to the big box retailer stores, but always went to Hop Left. I am getting off track, but it's just to visualize. It was a beautiful sunny hot day. I entered the store. I zipped my way to electronics. I didn't find much of anything I had needed to buy, but I did head to the candy department. I was only there to purchase some sour candy. Much obliged, the Super Otaku candy. OL for old lady. M for me. MOD for manager on duty. This really awkward moment came up when I was browsing through the selection of sweets. I realized I had an audience. I had swiftly spun around to find old lady staring at me. As I looked at her, I heard her, "Where is the milk and eggs?" I don't exactly know. I just wanted some sweets. "I know you're working here. I've seen you here before." I legitimately don't work here. I'm just a wee boy buying some hefty sweets. "I want your manager. Here, now. You're disrespecting me." Enter manager on duty from across the aisle. "Did you need any help, ma'am?" "I want this man fired. He disrespected me and did not help me." I really didn't have anything to say there because, well, I was wearing some blue clothing at the time. It will take a professional to realize I was not an employee, but I went like this. "I'm just here to buy some candy. I never told the old lady I've worked here." The manager on duty looks at my clothing with a "How do you figure?" look. He had immediately looked to the left at old lady with an upside down face. "He does not work here. I've never seen him before. He's just a customer like yourself, ma'am." Old lady is very red in the face, quite livid. "He definitely works here. He's wearing blue. Can I please just buy some candy and leave in peace?" "No, I want this man fired." The manager on duty just shakes his head and motions to the old lady to follow him to his office. I took that cue as to immediately head to checkout registers, which were quite a long 15 to 20 minutes of waiting. But by the end of the checkout line, I had seen the old lady livid walk quite fast away from the entrance of the store. She had seemed like, I don't know how to say, hell no, half very angry. I wonder how she expects the manager to fire someone who does not work there in the first place. Entitled customers are baffling and sometimes scary. To appease her, the manager should first hire the offending party and then fire them. I hope you will like this one. It is called "This One is Kind of Sad and Sweet," an interaction with my elderly neighbor. From February to September of 2018, my family, me, my wife, and my 11-year-old daughter hosted a 14-year-old foster child. The kid's time with us ended last September for reasons that are not related to this post. Fast forward to this year, in May, through a church connection, my family was connected to a family from another state who had a college-age son preparing for an unpaid internship at my city's zoo. For the sake of saving money, we agreed to let him live with us as our house guest for the summer. He will leave in the morning and come back in the afternoon, very obviously dressed in his official uniform as a zoo employee. My 89-year-old neighbor met him a few times. This is a really sweet man who does not really track very well anymore. His daughter lives in the same house and works from home so she can help take care of him since his wife died several years ago. 2 weeks ago, her house guest left us to go back to his college in his home state. Late last week, my neighbor asked after him, wondering if we could let him out for some house repairs. Turns out, the neighbor got our zoo guest confused with the foster kid we'd hosted the year before, and, combined with zoo guy's work uniform, somehow got it in his head that a foster kid was actually hired live-in help. It took a couple of conversations since then, combined with support from his daughter, to move him past his misconceptions. Vegetable Fondler. Years ago, I was working in a supermarket produce department, stacking cabbages. This guy comes up behind me and asks if I work there. Now, if you have ever worked at a supermarket, I am sure you know how soul-destroying it is to deal with so many ignorant people on a daily basis. So let's just say my attitude towards this human is kind of biased already. So before I've even turned around, I am thinking all sorts of things about this idiot. No, you blind stupid. I just like to wear this dorky effing green shirt and stand around fondling cucumbers all day, etc. Then I turn around. The guy is actually blind. Like cane and everything. He needs help getting his groceries. I am impressed he even found me among the vegetables. Comments bad feels. Just a pro tip, if someone asks you if you work there when it is totally obvious that you do work there, you're probably shy and they equate that question with a polite opener. Start paying attention to the ones who ask when it is obvious you do work there, and then start keeping track of many of them are polite or even apologetic about needing to bother you with questions. And we are not done yet, so let's get into the next story. Yes, I speak English. No, I'm not gonna help you with that attitude. I am so happy I finally get to share a story. I was actually kinda giddy with excitement when this happened because I read stories here all the time. Just to give a little context, I live in Japan and I am Japanese born, but went to university and law school in the States, so fluent in both Japanese and English. A few of my friends from law school were visiting, so I was taking them around and acting as sort of a translator when they were shopping. We are in a pretty big department store-esque shop and my friends needed help translating some electronics. I had just come from work, so I am wearing my suit and I am looking like a typical attorney. After a while of helping my friends, two typical fat American guys, FA, come in with a huge attitude.
Hey, are you just gonna help those girls the entire time? There are other customers that need help with English.
Now at this moment, I must have the biggest smile on my face as I always hoped I would encounter a situation like this. But I honestly could not imagine how insane this would be. Typically, I love helping foreigners because I know how hard it is being in Japan without knowing Japanese, and I have met a few cool people from helping them in shops and restaurants. But these two were so entitled, and I was with my friends that I was just gonna tell him I don't work here and excuse myself. So I reply, I'm sorry, I don't. He cut me off.
Yeah, you better be sorry. Now I need to know if this is tax-free and if it works in America.
Pointing to a Nintendo Switch game. Damn, did this dude really just say that to me? I could not help but laugh a little while telling him I have no idea because again, he cuts me off again.
Well, go check, Jesus. I thought Japan was known for good service. I feel like I'm in Walmart.
At this point, I'm getting pretty pissed because he's now not only acting like a jackass, he's insulting my culture. Meanwhile, my friends are laughing their butt off as they browse Reddit as well. If you are reading this, hey! So finally, I go and look at the game, read the back and tell him they sell this in America. Just buy the game there or ask an employee.
What the hell do you think you're doing? Are you retarded? Is this like Japan's version of Walmart or what?
I will be honest, I let my anger get the best of me here and just tell him, hey, how about you go screw yourself, you fat pig? As expected, this infuriates this guy and he pushes me and says,
what did you just say to me?
At this point, I am about to punch this fat pig in the face, but a manager comes by. He asks, in Japanese, what is going on, and I tell him that he started pushing me for no reason. Fat American tells me to translate what he's saying, as if I would, while the manager decides to call the cops. So I tell the fat American that the cops are coming because of the situation, and he starts laughing and says,
yeah, maybe I can finally get some help.
In my head I'm thinking, sure, you speak no Japanese, like they're gonna help you. The cops finally arrive, and after some questioning, they come to find that the two fat Americans don't have their passport on them. Bad move, buddy. For all those who visit Japan, be sure to have your passport on you at all times, because if you don't have it, cops will escort you back to where it is, or detain you if you can't find it.
But we're staying in Narita,
about 2 hours away from central Tokyo.
And we have reservations at the robot restaurant in a couple of hours.
Ha! Justice! The cops ask if I want to file a report and I tell them no, as they throw the two fat Americans in the backseat of the car and drive them the 2 hours back to their hotel so they can get their passport. Guess you won't be enjoying that overpriced, tourist trap, no refund, robot restaurant, stupid. That was a great read. Welcome to Japan to buy things you can at home. Hey you, yes, you. I love you. You're awesome. You're part of my viewers. I appreciate you being here. So if you want to look at more Reddit stories, well, they are here on the screen. You just have to click on it. And if you want to support what I do, well, you can subscribe, you can like the video, and you can leave a comment. The chores is yours. You can do what you want. But remember, I appreciate you being here, so thank you.